I was in my major for a week before I decided I would be happier doing something else. Hi. Um, I'm a film major and I fucking love film. But the other day, not the other day, kind of the other month, actually, I had the terrible realization that I actually want to be a theater major. And you're probably like, Star, those are like basically the same thing. Like, yes, but also no. So, well, I guess I should probably talk about like why I decided to study film. Yeah. And I guess like a big reason that I thought about changing my major was because it became harder to answer that question. You know, like why do you want to do film? I would have to like, sorry, my hair is getting to that point where it's like freezing out, so that means it needs to be redone. Um, but like it's gotten to a point where whenever someone asks me like why are you a film major, then I have to make up some long ass bullshit answer. Um, and it just like doesn't feel as authentic, I guess, as it did when I first started. Because in a perfect world, I would be a screenwriter. That's kind of what I'm working towards. But the reality is that's really the only aspect of film that I can see myself doing and like being happy. Cause like, okay, I'm gonna be so for real. I don't really give a gaff about learning how to use a camera. Guys, like, I know, like, I'm not saying the technical aspect of film is not important because it is literally like one of the most important aspects, I would say. But for me, it's just not enjoyable. I don't enjoy learning about that. I don't enjoy learning how to fix the like shutter speed and ISO, or I don't even remember if that's like a thing. Like I went to a film camp a couple summers ago and my absolute like favorite parts were directing and writing. So those are really, and you know, I also like write plays, so that kind of like bleeds into the whole theater thing. So that didn't really answer the question like why did I decide to study film. I decided to study film because I want to be a screenwriter. And that seemed like the most like closely aligned thing to study, I guess. Especially because like even though I don't like working with a camera and stuff, that's still a skill that I feel is important to learn. It definitely makes you more useful in the film industry. Like, okay, cool, this bitch can write, but she can also help me adjust my shutter speed. So that was kind of my like reasoning, I guess. Now for theater stuff, I started doing theater in high school. I did all 4 years. And it was like probably one of my favorite things I've like ever done in my life in high school. And I essentially like dedicated my life to it for 4 years. It was kind of bad, like how committed I was, but it also was like one of the best decisions I've ever made. For everyone who I consider a close friend right now is someone that I met doing theater in high school. And it also just like it made me so much more confident in myself. I was like a super anxious freshman, like going into high school, and you know, I was also like struggling learning things about myself. But doing theater kind of like helped bring me out of my shell and helped me like accept those things. Um, and you know, that was something that I carried with me throughout high school and even like going into college. Like I still do theater, and I'm just like always I'm constantly looking for stuff to do. You know, I started writing plays in high school. I'm still writing plays. I'm working on a full length right now, which is like super fun. And like a few weeks ago, I met with one of my like favorite professors. She's a theater professor. And she usually whenever we meet, she'll like before I leave, she'll give me like a list of upcoming theater events and just be like, "Hey, these are some things that are coming up. You should look into them." Um, and as we were talking, I kind of just realized like since moving to the city, I haven't looked for like a single film opportunity. Like I haven't, you know, I've seen short film auditions, but just been like, oh, that's cool, and then I actually haven't like I haven't auditioned for anything. I keep telling myself to join the film club. I haven't joined the film club. Um, like I'm not as committed to the art of film as I thought I was gonna be. But for theater, I've been doing theater since I fucking walked in here. Um, like I've done shows, I've looked for off-campus opportunities. I've like I said, I've been writing. I've been writing so much more. Um, you know, I've been meeting people. I've been making connections, and I'm just like I'm so much more passionate about theater than I am film. Obviously, like I love both. Film is like such an important aspect of my life and my approach to art, just like in general. But theater is kind of where I thrive, I feel. And that realization was like, oh fuck. Like I can't like I was already questioning my future enough. I would really love to not do this again. So yeah, I crashed out in my notes app. I wrote like um a whole little I wrote like basically a mini essay just like crashing out and be like, oh my god, like I want to study theater. Oh my gosh, like I this makes me so happy, but this is like even more financially unstable than film. What the fuck? Um that's another thing. Um like film and media is so like it's not broad, but it's like it's more broad than theater because you can do stuff that's like related to it. But if you study theater, it's like theater is theater. You kind of just do theater, which is great. I would love to do that. But I would also love to like pay my bills and own a cat. That'd be great too. Yeah. So that happened, and I told like all my theater friends. I was like, what the fuck do I well, I didn't ask what the fuck do I do because I kind of decided that already. I did just talk to people about it. My decision essentially was to stay with my film major because, like I said, it's just a little bit more broad and not it is unpredictable, but I feel like theater is a little more unpredictable job wise. So I'm sticking with film, and also another thing that kind of kept me off. Well, multiple things that kept me off of actually like majoring in theater was because I love theater. I don't want to do it academically just to like risk being burnt out by it. You know what I mean? So you know, when I'm doing some weird media assignment that's pissing me off, I have theater to turn to make me feel better, and that makes me happy. Another thing is also that like the professional theater world is kind of scary. It's kind of scary. I'd rather not. Like, it's also very white. It's also very white. Like, I didn't I went to a mostly white high school. I did theater all 4 years. Um, I didn't land a lead role until I left for college. So, yeah. Yeah. Um, and you know, like the first show I did do in college was not the best experience. Um, Great show. It just was not the greatest experience for me personally. Um, because not all theater people are nice, unfortunately. You know, we're all bonded by the love of this art and the community, and you know, the spending hours and hours working on this production and bringing it together. But some people are still kind of evil, and that's just something you have to accept, and that kind of sucks. So yeah, those are some things putting me off from like jumping into the deep end and majoring in it. Also the fact that like my parents would kill me. My parents would kill me. Yeah, they're already put off by me studying film. If I was like, hey, I actually want to like fully like do theater, they'd be like, fuck no, girl. That's a fight I don't really have the energy for. So yeah, in a perfect world, I would study theater and I would write plays and I would put them on and I would have a useless degree and I would read plays and I would analyze them and I would direct and I would like, oh my god. I want a useless degree. I want a useless degree. Oh my god. This is so bad. But what if I did change my major? Oh my god. No, I'm not changing my major. I'm not changing my major. But what if I'm not changing my major? I'm gonna go do my film homework before I reconsider this any further. Okay. Bye bye.